welcome. You're joining us for a focused look at your TikTok content. We've really done a deep dive into how your individual video posts are performing.
Right.
And specifically, we want to understand what it is about the content of those videos,
Yeah.
what you're actually saying that's, connecting with your audience.
Exactly. We've been digging through a pretty detailed breakdown of your TikTok data. So this includes your profile info, sure, but also overall account performance. And then, crucially, this really rich set of details about every single video you've posted. Think of it like a big list of your videos and their stats.
Okay.
And alongside that, we have the performance insights for each one, views, likes, shares, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. So our mission here really is to bridge the gap between those performance numbers and the actual substance of the videos.
Precisely.
We're looking at the spoken stuff, the messages, the keywords you used, the emotional tone, maybe even calls to action.
To really figure out what clicks with viewers.
Yeah, what makes them stop scrolling.
So what we've done is gone through the spoken content of your videos, piece by piece almost, and then directly connected that to how well each video actually did.
Right.
And now we're gonna, walk you through the patterns we spotted when we look at what you said and how people responded.
Okay, let's unpack this then. One area where we definitely saw some interesting stuff is in your, let's call it, educational tech tutorial content.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, remember that Instagram unfollow tutorial? The one where you showed how to see who doesn't follow you back?
Oh yeah, that one really took off huge numbers. What was it, 3.7 million views? And lots of saves, shares.
Massive engagement.
Yeah.
And what seemed key was the spoken part, right? You said something like,
Finding out who doesn't follow you back on Instagram is literally so easy. Right-click and press inspect, super direct.
exactly, it's that immediate usefulness, isn't it? People on TikTok often want those quick wins, those practical tips they can use, like right now.
Absolutely. Quick, actionable value.
Okay, so that's a quick win, but what about the more involved stuff, like the leak code explanations? You've done quite a few of those, explaining specific problems.
Right, the Leak Code series.
Do they get that same kind of viral reach? Or is the engagement different there?
That's a great question. So the view counts might not hit those multi-million numbers consistently for each one, no. But what is consistent is the really high rates, and especially the save rates on that Leak Code content.
Ah, saves. So people are planning to come back to it.
Exactly. It clearly signals there's a strong demand in your audience for those specific, actionable technical skills. You've tapped into a group of learners who really appreciate this step-by-step coding help.
And you often frame them as important for interviews.
Yeah, mentioning things like time complexity or the logic behind, say, a two-pointer approach, highlighting those must-know aspects for tech interviews, that seems to land really well.
Okay, that makes sense. Then there was that Canva code generator test you did at Abby Codes. That got decent views, over 80,000, I think.
Yeah, solid performance.
And the spoken bit that stood out was about putting in home price sliders, similar to what Zillow's design is, just by looking at the code.
Right. So, building on that practical theme, this was about exploring a new tool. By showing a real-world application, comparing it to something familiar like Zillow, you tapped into that curiosity about how design and development tools are evolving. People like seeing new tech analyzed.
Okay, now shifting gears a bit, let's look at the videos more focused on tech culture commentary or trending topics.
Yeah, different flavor of content.
That Hello Kitty TA drama post, wow. That just blew up, didn't it? 2.9 million views, super high share rate.
It really did, and it's fascinating, right? How a bit of, internet gossip within a specific community can suddenly grab huge attention.
And the spoken content was pretty juicy, stuff like her.
According to the school's Discord server, she already dismissed and said, "Now I have a fiance." And then there's also a video of her sleeping on his office floor, so there's that.
Whoa.
It's that relatable, maybe slightly dramatic human scenario. Clearly got people talking and hitting share.
Gossip travels fast. Okay, what about the one where you tackled the computer science degree versus software engineering confusion?
Yes, the clarification video.
You sounded almost exasperated, saying something like, "Guys, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but a computer science degree is not the same thing as a software engineer."
Yeah. Videos like that, where you're clearing up common misconceptions or defining terms in the tech field, they tend to really drive comments and discussion.
People probably appreciate the clarity.
Yeah, or they want to argue the nuance. Either way, it sparks engagement. People might share it because they get asked that question a lot too.
Makes sense. And of course, we saw videos talking about tech layoffs. There were a few of those.
A very relevant and unfortunately persistent topic.
The engagement seemed a bit more varied there, but it definitely got people talking in the comments.
Absolutely. I mean, job security is a massive deal in tech right now. So when you address it, maybe referencing, say, Forbes articles about layoff stats, you're hitting a nerve. You're validating people's concerns, providing context, and that naturally leads to discussion.
Right. Then there was also that video about, well, about insufferable computer science majors.
Yes. The one listing specific annoying behaviors.
That's the one. That also seemed to get a fair bit of traction.
Yeah, sometimes those relatable, maybe slightly controversial takes on shared experiences within a community, they can be engagement gold.
People recognize the stereotypes, maybe.
Exactly. They identify with it, or they know someone like that and they want to chime in or share their own stories. It hits home.
Okay, so tech tutorials, tech commentary, trending drama. That seems to be where the big engagement is. But what about the more personal stuff?
Good question. We looked at that too.
Like the NYC walking vlog, where you joked about walking 29,000 steps because you hated yourself?
Yeah, that one. The engagement was noticeably lower compared to the tech-focused videos.
Interesting.
It kind of highlights how important it is to stay close to your core theme, you know? Personal glimpses are fine, they build rapport.
Sure.
But if they don't have a clear link back to why your audience follows you, which seems to be tech, they might not resonate quite as strongly.
Okay. But what about the day in the life of a remote software engineer video? That one felt more blended.
Right, that one did better. Moderate engagement.
Because it mixed personal stuff with work things like merge conflicts, unit tests.
Exactly. It still offered insights into the software engineering world, just framed within a personal day. That blend seems to work better.
So finding the intersection is key.
It looks like it. Finding where your personal experience overlaps with the tech interests of your audience.
Yeah.
That seems to be the sweet spot for that kind of content for you.
Okay, so synthesizing all this, what's the big picture here?
Well, when you put it all together, a pretty clear pattern emerges, doesn't it?
It seems like it. Your tutorials, your commentary on tech trends and culture, especially when delivered clearly or with an engaging, maybe even gossipy tone.
Those tend to be your highest performers.
Yeah.
Actionable advice in the tutorials, relatable or buzzworthy takes in the commentary, that's what seems to grab attention.
And that contrasts pretty sharply with the purely personal vlogs that lack that strong tech hook.
It really does. The data strongly suggests your audience is primarily coming to you for the tech education and the insights into tech culture. That's their main interest.
Okay, let's try and bring this home then. The main takeaway from digging into your TikTok content seems to be this really clear connection between educational tech stuff, commentary on relevant tech topics, and getting high engagement from your audience.
Absolutely. Focusing on clear, actionable advice in those tutorials and offering timely, engaging commentary on what's happening in the tech world. That really seems to be the winning strategy for connecting with your specific viewers.
Right. So, thinking about future content,
Yeah,
it really prompts some questions, doesn't it?
it should.
Should you lean harder into those specific coding tutorials that people clearly value and save? Or maybe offer more of your opinions on tech news as it breaks?
Or perhaps find ways to weave that tech relevance more deliberately into any personal stories you might want to share. Finding that blend again.
Yeah. It really comes down to this, maybe as a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
Now that you can see more clearly how the actual content, what you're saying in the videos, connects directly with performance, what kind of conversations do you actually want to start or keep having with your audience?
That's the key question. We'd really encourage you to go back to your data, maybe with this lens, and see what other patterns jump out now.